What is up, whammin' and gentle whammin'? Welcome back to the channel, guys. So I just had this game against this gentleman here, and I wanted to kind of go over like my thought process with the deck. A lot of you have been asking what the deck list is, and kind of like for some thought processes and such. So here we're gonna have a test game, or I'm just gonna kind of go over what my thought process is. The gentleman I'm playing against was playing Emancipator. Um, we'll go ahead and show both hands. He don't know if this is good or bad. It looks kind of bad because he opened these two. And the Doki Doki, I don't know how this deck works, but the Dark Roller seems pretty good. So we'll just fast forward through his turn. He goes through here, summons the thing, starts making his combo, declares to draw a card, and when he does that, I instantly draw. I don't know if that's effective against the deck. Don't know the deck that well, but I assume it searches and draws a lot. I'm not 100% sure. So I drawed here immediately because we drew it. This is the newest addition to the deck. I bumped the deck up to, I think we're at 43 right now is the list that I'm playing. And I just wanted to play 3 Droll. I feel like it's really impactful against 4 of the best decks right now. It hits everything. There's like not really one deck that it's like really bad against. There's always a situation where Droll is relevant and can like make their plays really clunky. Yeah, we continue. We go ahead and let him go. The Droll was obviously impactful. He just goes DP and pass. So here I go with, we drew for turn. I forget what we drew, but I think we drew Snake. But we're gonna go Cloak, Special Kagamusha Knight. I wait here to see if he wants to use DPE, and he does not. Well, he does, sorry. He then declares DPE. I say that's fine. He then destroys DPE and Kagamusha Knight, which was his first mistake. He should have, you always put them on, like, you always want to pop the cloak. Like, you don't want to run the risk of them having the boots. I get the idea of why you would want to pop the Kage. That way the cloak doesn't get the free search. But in this instance, I feel like it would be better to just pop the boots, put them on, not make it to where if they have boots, it's irrelevant. But if they have the other extender, it would have ended in the same thing regardless. But you're not losing to a boots, which he does here. We just then declares DB effect, which is fine. We go ahead and summon boots, make Cherubini, normal line from here. He's pretty well behind, so we're gonna go send. Okay, so we send Torn Scales here. The reasoning we sent Torn Scales is because we had Graph, so we're gonna activate Cloak. Cloak's gonna grab Stangreaves. I grabbed Stangreaves because potentially discarding it off of this. I wasn't sure what I was wanting to discard at this time. I'm think I end up discarding Tsuchinoko, but I also went with this because like if I discard it, it becomes an extender in case I want to use Tsuchinoko to try to draw. But yeah, so like this becomes an extender if I draw another Phantom Knight. And yeah, but we're most likely just going to pitch Graph off of this. I don't remember exactly what the line was. So Torn Scales triggers, summons himself. Declare Torn Scales, send Graph. Graph's effect's going to trigger. We're going to send Wings. Then Graph's going to trigger. He's going to summon the Seer. The reason I like to send Wings off the Torn Scales, so like if I get interrupted, I have an extender already ready to go. So like we can float a dude out. We can use Wings, bring back Boots, summon Such, make Levier, bring Cloak back, and still do things like make a Vert, make a DP, get into our advantage engine. So that's the logic of getting Wings to the Grave here. We're going to link up, go into Bard, typical line. Seer's going to trigger targeting Cherubini, summoning back the Cherubini. That's all fine and well. I went to declare Bard here and banished it, so we declare Bard. We're going to send, I believe we sent Ragged Gloves. Yeah, we sent Ragged Gloves, set, the Flippy Boy. Sorry, it's late at night while I'm recording this. We're going to use wings. That way we can make a Leviair. That way Torn Scales doesn't get banished. We're going to bring back the Cloak and then use Cloak to pump the Bard. So Clunk bumps Bard, which is fine. We link these two off into Dagda. We utilize Shade to trigger the Dagda. Dagda's going to set the Scythe. I decided to go here. You'll see in a second. I decided to go into Apo here to play around a Nib, like to punish him if he's been holding it for when we go to DPE. Probably not the best idea, but in game 2, it came up to where it's like actually relevant that we made the right call here because this player likes to hold Nibiru until they go to battle phase. But we make Appaloosa here just to kind of play around Nib. We go Tsuchinoko, we get him to select. Once he finally selects one, we pitch the Such. Such summons itself. I was really hopeful that Such wouldn't get discarded and we could get another draw. That's fine because we got a completely stacked graveyard. We can still send with him. We still got a Boot Search. These two have already used their effects, but that's fine. We can send a Fog Blade if we want to extend further. We got Boots. But here, like, I'm really considering whether or not I want to use Gloves to send a Fog Blade to get another level 3, but looking at the board, like, getting another level 3 on board doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't progress our game state. It doesn't get us anywhere faster. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go Boots, search for a Fog Blade. We're gonna link off the Shade, summon a Link Spider, go into Vert, make DPE, pay our 2 bans. Alright, we summon DPE, and then we're going into battle phase. Our Verte can swing over his because his is losing 400. He thought they were going to crash because he forgot about DPE second effect. But that's not how that works. So he lost 400 there, and then Apo swings for 16, 25 with DPE, and then 28 directly for game. And that's game 1. So we can move on over to the siding. We side, he sides. Everything's good. So we draw our opening hand. We drew the Lightning Storm, and that's about it. Like, that's the only thing that we drew, like, to break the board, but we drew some gas. So we're in there. We just kind of let him go off. I don't like to tell my opponent. Sorry. I don't like to tell my opponents, especially like at a non-local level or at a tournament I'm taking very seriously, that I'm not on hand traps. I like make them think that I might have an interruption. So that's why I didn't just say to him like, hey, go off, do your thing. We're not under a time crunch, so I just want to like make sure he's like declaring everything and maybe make him think, okay, he might be holding Nib, so I need to set up my negate or do something questionable. The only questionable thing I thought he did here was he synchroed this off for Borreload Savage Dragon and equip the Doodle Doo. I don't know. I would have kept this up in defense because this banishing this seems like it was more important. Like this having this engraved to set up a Omni banish, like a DD Crow. What this is, right? This is the DD Crow one, right? Yeah, so like having a DD Crow I felt like would have been really strong. It would have played into the Lightning Storm, but I mean, if I got it, I got it. It's the way I would look at it. I'd rather have, I mean, you're only losing a 3-mat app, which he never uses anyways. So, like, this trade, here, we'll finish this out. So, like, we draw into E-Telly, which is total gas. He goes ahead and he lances us in the standby phase, which is fine. Goes straight into Lightning Storm, and he negates with Savage Dragon, which is fine. I mean, we don't really care about that, but he then makes a very questionable line, and throughout our entire combo, we cannot bait him into using this Appaloosa. So we go E-Telly first, bring out Tracker to see if maybe he's going to be bad and trigger the Phoenix Enforcer. Normal summon the Torn Scales. I was waiting to see if anything happened there. Nothing happened, so we go ahead and get boots. Now we declare Torn Scales. He's just letting things ride. Said Torn Scales was fine. I thought that was going to be negate number 1. Hell, I thought that he would have popped this with DPE. That's like, these are all things that I'm thinking that he should have done. So like, if I was him, as soon as I normal summon Torn Scales, I would have popped the Torn Scales, is what I was expecting. And then that would have forced me to use Bunny and then discard hopefully one of these two in order to summon the Bunny. But then he could have, which he couldn't negate the Bunny attempting to summon because with Apo it's not a once per turn effect. So that would have just been a waste of an Apo negate. But I guess he was just like afraid, well, if I use my Apo negate, he's going to swing over it. But yes, but in this instance, you're wanting to like trade your negates. Like, one negate per card. Like, trade a negate for a card. Like, you want a net advantage off of these negates. Like, you don't want to expect your Apo to live. You want to utilize your negates in a point to where you think it's going to stop them. Even if it's just, like, you negate one thing. Like, if he would have, like, DPE popped this, and then Bunny, then I try Bunny, summon Bunny, he's still in a really good position, because then I go, like, I don't see where not using a negate or not popping this nets him any advantage. It just doesn't, so I don't get why he waited so long. But we discard Bunny. He lets Bunny go through. We summon Snake. We link off the Psychic and the Torn Scales into Cherubini. That leaves us with nothing but Darks. That way we can go into Bard with whichever one we want. Go ahead and activate Cherubini's effect. He's not bad. He doesn't negate the Cherubini. We send Graph. Enforcer can't destroy these two. He could attempt to pop this, which is fine. If he tried to pop this, we're just going to send this anyway. So that's why this one's here. So we're good with that. He lets Graph go through. We summon the Seer out. That's the whole reason we sent the Torn Scales, that we had a zone that we can summon the Seer out to. He lets that go. We summon the Bard, activate Seer's effect, target the Cherubini. Here's where he goes in DPEs. He's going to pop the Bard, which is, like, I guess that's what he was saving it for. But I feel like if you'd have just stopped the Torn Scales, I don't know that I get that far. I don't know that I make it to Bard if he stops Torn Scales. Because, like, I'm under Lancia. So if he pops the Torn Scales, I make Cherubini, and then he just Apo negates the Graph. And then where are we? Like, I have a Cherubini, and then maybe a Fogblade to set. Like, he would have been in a much more commanding position if he'd have just popped the Torn Scales. But continuing on, DP declares, Cherubini gets summoned back. Excuse my yawning again. We declare Unicorn. I expect this to get negated because I'm targeting the Savage Dragon. He lets that go through. I tried to banish with Wings because this was over the course of like 10 minutes that we played out this turn. So I forgot that I was in Lancia. He quickly corrects me, and that's fine. Not a big deal. We link these two. We go into access code target Unicorn, gain the 3 counters. And then we swing over the Appaloosa. DPE comes back, and he pops the 2 DPE effect. All that was fine. So like that interaction, I guess he decided like he wanted to hold it in for this turn, which is fine. So we go in, we go boots, grab Fogblade. That way we're gonna get the Torn Scales trigger to summon itself. We got a lot of gas in the graveyard, so we're just gonna have to we're just gonna play smart and try to force out the DPE now. Is what we're doing. So we go Torn Scales. Wait for anything, no response, activate Torn Scales, pitch the Droll. At this point, we're up on card advantage because we can float with our graveyard and we have a lot of resources to us where he doesn't have very many. and we're just trying to bait out one negate. So we go ahead and go Torn Scales and Cloak. Cloak search for Ragged Gloves. At this point, he's actually making the smarter play to not pop the Torn Scales, even though it would get banished. He's saving it for when I bring out the Bard, which I guess is correct, but at this point, he's let it go too far. So I normal summon Ragged Gloves. I have no Phantom Knights Engraved. He could just like pop Torn Scales here, and then I get Bard back. Well, I mean, 6-1, half a dozen the other. Like, it's all going to end the same way. So we go ahead and make the Break Sword. We're getting a lot of free advantage because he's afraid to use his resources. We use Break Sword effect, detach, target the DP. He's going to chain the DP, which is irrelevant. We pop the Break Sword. DP change to our Break Sword, summoning out the 2 back. We're going to head Chain Wings here. We're well in Nib range at this point. We're not playing around Nib. We're not respecting that he has it. Because the way I look at it here is if he's got it, he's got it. So we went ahead and used Bard, sent Stangreaves, set Fogblade. At this point, yeah, this was our 5th summon, so he could have nibbed before. Like, he should have nibbed here and got rid of this permanently because this is going to get banished. So he should have nibbed before I got to activate this, but he just chose not to. So we set the Fogblade. We're getting some advantage. I guess he wanted me to waste a lot of resources. He was trying to get me to go into Verte, but we're like, okay. So the thought process with here was like, all right, we're going to make Time Thief Redoer and then go into battle phase. That way, if he's got Nib, he has to use it now before I get into the battle phase. And I'll still have a Fogblade to float something out and then be able to make a Verte. So he does have the Nib. We're going to chain the Redoer, blink the Redoer out, banish the Bard. I get a token. We're going to set a Fogblade, banish a Fogblade. Fogblade's going to bring out something irrelevant. We're going to bring out the Stangreaves because it's useless. It can get banished. I'm not worried about it. Link these 2 off into Vert. I made minor misplay here. The Stangreaves needed to be banished. It's supposed to be banished since it was summoned off one of the traps, but it doesn't affect the game state, doesn't affect the outcome. We Vert, we pay our 2,000, we send the for cost, we summon DPE, we pop the Predaplant and the Nib and swing in for 25. Alright, so we go into the next turn. Another misplay. Because I'm on DB, like, I'm still getting used to playing on DB. I forgot to resolve Redoer. Redoer was supposed to come back during the standby phase. I would have gotten the top card of his deck, which is kind of relevant. So he's going to go Dasher, summon out the Koakimaru. That's going to search him for a dude. Search for a Guardian. And then I should have a Redoer on board and get to equip the top card. But it's fine. Minor misplay. It's not his fault. I don't think this is mandatory. Yes, it is mandatory to come back, so it's an irreparable game state, but it's not a big deal. We're bad in here. He goes ahead and does Dasher, so that means we would have got the Lancia. Would have been what would have been equipped to the Scythe. So we go ahead, he declares attack, we chain Fogblade. He tries to chain DPE, we chain the second Fogblade. We have to use 2 Fogblades here to ensure that he doesn't swing over our DP and swing in for damage. This negates the attack and prevents my stuff from being popped. Here, I know that DPE is going to get destroyed during the end phase, so I'm going to wait and I'm going to attempt to pop when it goes to end phase the Guardian, because I'm thinking he's just going to pass on a Guardian, have the Omni negate because DPE dies at the end phase because of Fusion Destiny. So then he goes into Dweller, which I wasn't expecting, which is fine. We declare DPE. We're going to pop the Dweller and the Fogblade, and then in the end phase, DPE dies because Fusion Destiny. So we draw for turn, draw Lightning Storm, not a big deal. He goes, activates Lancia, we chain immediately the Fog Blade, banish it, summon the Ragged Gloves, and it's just the same thing. Fog Blade, summon, or Torn Scale summons itself. Make the Break Sword gains 1,000 attack, use Break Sword's effect, pop the Fog Blade, pop the DP. DP is going to declare, but it doesn't matter, we're swinging in directly for 3,000. And that's the game. Let me know what you guys think. I made two misplays here. Neither of them affected the outcome. The only thing that was really relevant was the redoer. He wouldn't have been able to Lancia me, so I'd have been able to gas up even more, but I don't think that was like really mattered. I didn't need to gas up. All I had to do was do the exact line that I did, make the Break Sword, pop the 2, don't overextend into another nib in case he has it, swing directly, seal the game out. But if you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed me breaking down my thought process while playing the deck, and would like to see more of this, please comment down below, and I'll try to do that. I'm not the best player in the world, but I can definitely help you if you're trying to learn the deck. We can look at the deck list real quick, and then we'll get on to, then I'll let you guys get on with the rest of your days. Okay, so this is the deck list that I was playing. This is the deck list that I played this past week at locals. I'll probably upload this on Thursday, so you'll be able to see the first tournament I played in with this at locals. I played a different deck for the second tournament just to kind of break up the monotony for everybody at the shop. Everybody's tired of playing against PK. There's a couple PK players there. Everybody's tired of playing against me with PK. I decided to take a break and play Trap BA, but here's the list that I played. Just going over a couple of things. We played one Scythe, Seer, Bunny, Tsuchinoko, the Destiny Heroes. We played the 3 Droll, Graph, Junk Forward, like just your normal stuff. Like explaining some of the reasoning, like this hits everything. The reason I play 2 of this and not 2 of this is this has 1600 attack, this has 600. That's literally the only reason. This beats over Barrier Statue. And then the rest of it's like standard, very, very standard. 1 Called By, 2 E-Tellies, 3 Droplet, 3 Destiny, 1 Rhoda, and then the standard PK lineup. PK trap lineup, I should say. I don't like hand traps in the deck. I feel like hand traps aren't as strong as they normally are. I feel like they're very weak this format, so I decided to cut all hand traps except for Droll. I want something that's like going to end your turn, so that's why the only 2 hand traps I play are Droll and Lancia. And then I play the 3 droplets to break the board. I haven't liked talents over the last couple of weeks. It's just like been very bricky and dead draw every time I saw it. That might just be because of the way my locals is structured. And I might want to reconsider playing talents for when the regional season comes. For when the regional season comes back up. Side deck, triple Lancia, triple Godarla, because Wind Barrier Statue. I want to have Kaijus in my side deck. Personal preference, like this side deck's pretty much what I've been playing for a long time, and it's just very solid to me. I really like this side deck. I put these in since I've started maining the Drolls. IO Spellfragments are just unfair cards. I figure we need more unfair cards in our deck. We already have the Scythe, but these make it just like help us be more unfair, like, and just win games. Like I said, I want high impact cards. If I'm siding in or if I'm using hand traps, I want high impact cards. Extra decks, DPE, Zeus, Downerd, 1 Levy, 2 Break Sword, 1 Redoer, 1 Access, 1 Apo, then we got Dagda, Cherubini, Unicorn, Link Spider for Nib tokens, Vert, and Rusty. I feel like this is all pretty much standard now. Like there's not really much variance with PK, though the deck is very flexible. So like if you'd like, I'll go through and I'll make like budget options and like break down like certain cards you can play, cards you don't have to play. If there's a cheaper version or something, like if you can't afford access code or the DPE package, like what kind of combos can you end on, what kind of lines can you go with. I can go through all that stuff with you. If that's something you guys would like, comment it down below and I'll try to do my best to do that. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the in-depth duel replay. I've seen Pac doing a bunch of these, and I really like the idea of spreading knowledge. I don't have a lot. I'm nowhere near as good of a player as Pac, but I figured I'd share what little knowledge I do have of the deck, and maybe help somebody who's struggling with the deck, or maybe get some tips from you guys. If you guys might know something that I could have done better or differently, feel free to comment that down below. Consider subscribing. Once I hit 200 subs, I think right now I'm at like 196. So once 4 more of you guys subscribe and we get to 200, I'm going to be doing a mat giveaway for the custom Naruto mat that my wife designed. So if you guys are interested in that, please subscribe and keep an eye out for future videos, because I'll be announcing that mat giveaway soon, like the full details on it and how to enter and all that stuff. But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Have a happy new year. Peace.